Hey everyone, welcome. Christina's still dancing. Welcome to our TokiTV on January 15th. Next time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record you guys without you knowing, and then I'm going to play it for everyone so they can see you guys dancing in the background because it's awesome. January 15th, you guys, oh my goodness, it's 2023, the year Toki swims free in the Salish Sea. So, yes, celebrating that for sure. Welcome everyone. Let's just do quick highs and then we'll do like longer check-ins. But Deb Cruz, how's it going?
It is.
It is. And Howard, how are you?
It really is.
Okay, I see a theme going here. Deborah, how are you?
It super is, because when I'm done with one piece, I'm out of here.
Wow. Christina, what you got?
Excellent. I am excellent. I am really happy to be here.
Awesome. Alejandro, how are you?
It is as it is, so don't bother me.
Oh boy.
Welcome to our TokiTV show.
Awesome. Carla, how are you?
Super happy to be here, and with all these faces on screen, I'm more than glad to be here today.
Love you guys. Thank you guys for being with us. Those of you at home, type your names. Come on. There's a whole lot of people on here, but you're not typing your names. So I know we have Maria and Cindy and Aaron and Wendy and Eva, and there's many more. So put your names in there. I'd love to see it. It says Facebook user, so type your name in there, and because we want to acknowledge you and just acknowledge that you're here with us today. Thank you. Hey, Suzanne. So to get ourselves grounded today, Deborah Osh sent me a video, and it's 2 minutes, about 2 minutes long. And so what I want us to do is just take some time, close your eyes if you want, or watch the video because it's beautiful. You're going to hear the water, and this is from the shores where Toki will be free in 2023. So let's go ahead and do that. Everyone, let's take a couple breaths in before I play the video. So ready, deep breath in. Breathe in peace. And breathe out love. Again, breathe in peace. Let it out loudly. Breathe out love. Breathe in peace all together. And breathe out love all together. Keep your breathing. Thank you, Deborah. I can't unmute your mic, but When did you take that, Deborah? Where did you take that?
That was last night at Hasty Lake and looking out towards the Olympic Peninsula. Seemed like the sun was sort of setting towards the south, but it was a beautiful night, and it was a great place to envision big dorsal fins swimming by, and sometimes they actually do.
Well, speaking of big dorsal fins swimming on by, I'm going to share a quick video because from those waters, and then Howard's going to have a little something to update us with. But I saw a video that was shared, Dory Dace, and so I messaged her right away and I said, can I please share this on the show? So I want to show you guys last night, probably as we were filming that. Beautiful sunset. Let me share with you just a quick 1 minute of what she was able to capture. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And that the video's not showing.
It's not showing? Ah, I'm so sorry. Thank you for telling me that because it was showing on my end. Let me try this again. Could you hear it though?
I can
Oh,
hear
yeah.
it.
Okay, let me try that one more time. If it doesn't show right away, please tell me. Can you see it?
There it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh my.
Oh, where did it go? Okay. Wow. Oh, and then there's Tina Turner. So we can watch that. I did that
How do
earlier.
we dance?
Tina Turner really wants to be on the show, you guys. So we're gonna have to make way for that at some
You
point.
should invite her.
So that was taken last night at sunset. And Howard, what's going on today, right now? Actually?
Well, those same whales that went south down the east side of Whidbey Island, where Dory filmed that yesterday, are apparently, I saw them about a half an hour ago, coming north up the west side of Whidbey Island, up Admiralty Inlet. So anybody around Port Townsend or Hasty Lake area or up on the north side of Whidbey Island, they should be coming by there in, I would guess, about an hour. Or at Lagoon Point or a couple of other places, anywhere that you can get a good look at the water. I saw about 10, but there could be 20 or 30 or 40. We don't know how many.
Oh, I finally saw him.
Ah, Susan, my wife, just saw them.
Oh,
She
Susan!
just this second. And they are just right here. This is about 2 miles south of Bush Point, which is a great place. It's got a lighthouse. It's got a little point out there. It's the narrowest part of Admiralty Inlet, although they can still be 3 or 4 miles away, and that can be a long way. But it's a great spot. So they'll be there in probably a half hour, 20 minutes. Yes. She reminds
Howard and Susan are so cool. I'd be out of here. I'd be like, I love you, but I gotta go.
See you guys.
Yeah, well, we can get down on the bluff, but that's not very much closer, and they're a couple of miles out probably. So
Very cool. Well, please take pictures and share with all of us, some of us landlocked people.
best we can. Well, yesterday we had our Ways of Wales, our all-day workshop with
Cool.
a whole lot of great people, great speakers and everything. So our staff, our team that put that on is still on the island for the most part. So they are running up and down the island right now, watching those whales. So on the Orca Network Facebook page, you can expect some photos to come here pretty soon, videos.
Awesome. And speaking of Ways of Wales, I watched. I had some stuff going on. I had to go to a memorial service and stuff like that. So, but at every time I could, I had it on, and every time I was blown away by the folks that you had there. Amazing. And I did hear your intro and talking about Toki, and just she is why we are here every single week, gathered together. And I don't have like in-depth detail updates, but I do know that she is doing, I was told, very well by those that know. So very well is very good. And so
Yes.
keep going, Toki. And it wasn't just, oh, she's well, she's very well. And so this is really awesome news. And we keep praying. People are typing in the chats that they were having dreams of swimming with her. And you guys, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Well, Toki is the heart and soul of Orca Network. It's why we founded this organization beginning in 1995 and then as Orca Network in 2001. But she's always been the main cause,
Yeah.
the throbbing heart, because she is what brings us close to the whales is caring about her. So, yeah.
Speaking of the founding heart and 1995, and you'll notice on the beginning of our TokiTV intro, the very first person you see, and I think the picture was taken in 93 or 94. I might be mistaken, but some of the earlier photos. But the very first picture you're going to see on there of a person is Ken Balcom, and Howard has graciously. You were able to get the video sent to me, so thank you very much. I did get that. And do you want to intro this video, because it's about 13 minutes. You guys are going to love this, and I've watched it 4 times. So why don't you intro it, Howard?
Yes, well, this has huge historical significance, and it's really kind of fascinating. This was from April 8th of. Sorry, our dog had to comment. She's out chasing squirrels now, so we're okay. Oh, it looks like we have some of our team here to visit our deck to watch these whales.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, they're welcome to jump on screen with you if they would like.
I was hoping they would.
I hope they do.
Anyway, this clip is from April 8th, 1976. And the study that Ken began on April 1st, April Fool's Day, didn't find any whales until this day. So this was the first actual encounter to begin Orca survey, the survey of the whales, to use the photo identification process and begin to get a count and assessment of how many whales there are, and just begin the studies that have yielded all the incredible data, some of which you saw on Ways of Wales yesterday, updated, incredibly refined insights into their family systems and structures and their lives. It began on this day, April 8th, 1976. And there are a couple of things to note. One is, in the beginning of the encounter, it went on for a couple of hours, that the whales avoided them. And this was 1976. The captures were still going on. They hadn't ended yet. So they had been chased by boats for 10 years. So they were very wary of any boats, and they stayed far, far away in the beginning. But after a couple of hours, they realized, these guys aren't here to catch us. They're here just to see us, just to visit, just to get some looks and get acquainted. And so they then came over to the boats. that's how quickly they understood. They learned our intentions, Ken's intentions at the time, his attitude, his feelings toward them were completely different than the capture teams, of course. And they understood that. They got that. And they responded accordingly and came around. And they did ever since. When Ken went out in a boat, he didn't talk about it, but other people noticed that the whales came to him. The whales tended to come around. I'm on TV, so you can come and get on TV with me if you want. But first, check out the whales. Sorry, our visitors are here. So Cindy and Elisa. Cindy, education coordinator, and Elisa, who is our sightings coordinator. And
Cindy,
Cindy
get
has
on
been
camera,
on.
Cindy.
Cindy has been on before. Come on, Cindy. Say
Come on,
hi.
Cindy. Hey, how are you?
And Elisa.
And Briar.
And Briar.
Hi, Lisa.
Where?
Elisa,
Hi.
sightings coordinator. All of
How
those
are you?
reports that
We're
you
here
see of
watching.
where the whales are, Elisa is sending them to you.
Awesome.
So anyway, that change in that relationship between Ken and the Southern residents happened on that day, that very first encounter, April 8th. And the other thing to notice is that Ken mentions it, that at that time, nobody really knew that there were two different types of orcas, that there were residents and transients, fish eaters and mammal eaters, completely different and distinct, because that's unheard of in wildlife biology. I mean, still to this day, there's no other species of mammal that are all members of a culture, that are different from other cultures of the same species in the same habitat, in the same place. So it took a while, for the scientific community to catch up with the truth from the field studies, but they did finally. So this is a moment where that's still not clear, as you'll see in Ken reading from his logbooks. He was very meticulous about observing and noting every detail that he could think of that might be important in a logbook. And this is him reading from that logbook and commenting on it with some clips along the way. I'm not sure, clips and photos. Anyway, we will see more of that, and just keep that in mind. The whales changed their understanding of Ken's intentions, and Ken was just beginning to learn about the differences between residents and transients, or bigs, or whales on that day. Right.
Trailblazer. Thank you for allowing us to show this. Appreciate it.
Thank you for showing it.
All right, here we go. Tell me if it doesn't show, you guys.
On.
We began on April Fool's Day, 1976, with a contract to the U.S. National Marine Fisheries Service to study, it was called A Killer Whale Study in Puget Sound and Environs. That was the title of the contract. And it was from April 1st, 1976, April Fool's Day, to 30th September 76. But the government found a little extra money and kept us going through October until Halloween. Beginning in 1972, captures required a permit from the National Marine Fisheries Service that cost $100, and they had to know what the sustainable yield was, as it was argued that they came in and out of Puget Sound all the time. Nobody knew how many there were, and you have to determine what the sustainable yields or the removals could be. Mike Bigg had already done this in Canada, But his numbers were not entirely believed or his techniques. And besides that, U.S. waters needed to be surveyed. 8th of April, 1976. We started up at 0700 and cast off at 0710 in the drizzly gloom that is typical weather for Port Angeles this time of year. At 0722, we cleared Edith's Hook and set 2850 RPM for Dungeness Spit, en route the southern Puget Sound. At 0730, we encountered 15 to 20 Phocinoides doll porpoise, and at 0748, we saw about 15 more, swimming at high speed and frequently changing direction. None were interested in riding our bow. Perhaps they were feeding. At 0815, when just off the middle of Dungeness Spit, I spotted killer whales, or Sinus orca, about 1.5 miles ahead and coming our way. So begins the encounter. The initial grouping of the whales was as follows. One large group of about 25 whales was most inshore, and that group consisted of females, young whales, and not so prominent males. Several other smaller groups consisting of a male and one or two other whales were further offshore to a distance of about 3 miles from the beach. The general pattern of movement was in a line perpendicular to the coast. It was very apparent that the whales were initially concerned with avoiding us. They dove and came up several minutes later, a good long distance astern of us toward Port Angeles. We turned and proceeded toward the large group again. And at a distance of about 400 yards, they porpoised briefly and dove again for several minutes. Both we and the whales did not behave calmly for the first hour. Rain was spoiling our opportunities for photographs, getting our cameras all wet and dampening our spirits. Even at slow speed and with patience, we did not closely approach the group of 25 whales, so we started toward a smaller group a little further offshore. One male in company with a female and a calf about 11.5 feet long, TX2 frame 17. The main group of 25 whales calmed down immediately and resumed a leisurely dive interval of about 1 minute to 1 minute 50 seconds down, still proceeding westerly. By 10:15, we were abeam the stacks at the east end of Port Angeles. A school of Phocinoides dolli had nonchalantly passed us going east without any apparent reaction from the killer whales. Now, just a side note here that at the time, this is basically a killer whale study. It was not well known that we had two ecotypes here, the meat-eating transients and a fish-eating ecotype known as residents. We sort of were just in the state of forming that knowledge at that time. We were beginning to trail the whales by about 1/3 mile, so I increased RPM to 1200. The whales reacted immediately by increasing activity. We closely approached them again by 10:20 near Edith's Hook and reduced RPMs to 1050. At this point, we were near one subgroup of about 15 whales. At 10:30, we observed one subgroup of 22 or 23 whales that came up for about 5 blows. A downtime of 3 minutes, 24 seconds was observed, and then 15 or 16 whales came up for 6 or 7 blows. By 10:43, the school structure had loosened to 2 groups of 6 whales, each with a large male, plus a couple of whales, plus several other groups of 4 or 5 whales, each with a male, plus 3 or 4 whales accompanied by a male, plus a few others. Due to the difficulty of counting numbers of whales that do not all surface at the same time, I can only estimate the total number of whales was about 40. At 11:15 1/2, the whales momentarily stopped their forward motion to the west. We counted 5 large males in the aggregation and 2 other males, one accompanied by a female, the other with a female and a calf. The rain stopped and the wind was calm as we idled along at the speed of the whales. A baby whale spy hopped, PX5-35, and another splashed the water with its flipper. I shot a number of photos, PX5 frames 28 to 33, of a large male whale that had a bite-like chunk missing from the bottom third of its dorsal fin on the posterior margin. Later found this was L8. Several whales lob-tailed, not apparently related to our presence, and at 11:33, one small whale breached twice. Camille got a photo of the second breach. At 11:37, the whale started moving west again, and another little whale breached. By 11:50, we were abeam Port Angeles proper in 47 fathoms, or about 1 mile off Edith's Hook. We increased speed to 1050 RPM, 4 knots, and kept up with the whales, which were by now traveling in a broad line perpendicular to the shore, extending about 2 miles offshore. The line was really a dotted line of numerous small groups of whale moving together, but its orientation was definitely perpendicular to the coast of the strait. Shortly after noon, I began counting individual whale respirations and timing down times, etc. A female whale with double-notched scars on the posterior margin of her dorsal fin, PX6, frame 7, was up for 6 blows, down for 10 minutes and 35 seconds, up for 10 blows, down for 6 minutes 15 seconds, up for 10 blows, but her behavior seemed to indicate that she was not at ease with our presence. A male that was with her had no real distinctive markings, but by their association, I was able to time him as follows. Up for 5 blows, down 7 minutes 45 seconds, up for 15 approximate blows, and down. These 2 whales were presumably feeding, and they were the third flanker group from the outside, or most offshore group. At 12:58, I reloaded both of my cameras, plus X7 and color roll 3 to frame 2, and began shooting as the whales all came together and seemed to be relaxing. The whales seemed unperturbed by our presence and frequently swam within a few meters of us. At 13:23, we were about a half mile offshore of Observatory Point. A young whale breached, PX7-20, and much finning and flopping of it was observed for a few minutes. The whales dispersed into small groups again and moved westward, getting to a perpendicular with Crescent Rock by about 13:35. One male, PX7 frame 21, and a female became very active in a tight circle, as if feeding, so I took movies of them for a few spurts. Other whales began, quote, feeding also, and 2 baby whales were left in our immediate vicinity to play and look at us as their mothers were down for long periods of time. One of the babies was only about 8.5 feet long and designated Pink Baby by Camille, and the other was 10 to 11 feet long. At 13:50, there was another breach, and some more lobtailing and finning. At 14:14, we were about 3 miles west of Crescent Rock and passing through areas of kelp with the whales. One male had a long string of kelp draped around its dorsal fin, and another male whale swam directly through a small patch of kelp. Do they enjoy the feel of kelp on their skin? By 14:40, the aggregation of whales had moved slightly ahead of us as we idled. They had again formed 2 separate groups, 22 or 23 and 15 to 17, as they continued moving westerly. The wind came upon us strong from the east with rain and chill. Reluctantly, we departed the whales at 15:15, about 1.5 miles offshore Twin Rivers, to return to Port Angeles while getting was good. I called Mike Big in the evening, and from my description of some of the whales we had seen, he identified the following. Male L8, close saddle, that bite on the lower third of the posterior margin of the fin. Male K5, open saddle with a chevron or sergeant stripes on the saddle pattern. L10, closed saddle with a bite mark up near the top of the dorsal fin, a posterior margin. And male K1 that had 2 notches, made by Mike Big et al. In October 1973 when they attached a radio transmitter to this whale nicknamed Taku and then released him. He was too large for the capture travel. The transmitter was designed to release after 1 month. Mike also said that a school of whales, presumably this group, was reported inbound on the Vancouver Island side of the Strait of Juan de Fuca on Monday, 5 April. He launched from Victoria to intercept them, but apparently the whales did not follow their usual route of traveling past Victoria and up Harrow Strait. Our intercept and documentation of these whales is the first undeniable record of their presence in these waters in the month of April. Mike has records of these resident pod males for each other month of the year. So that was Encounter 1, 1976. So begins Orca Survey.
Courtesy of Lisa Morby of the Center for Whale Research Outreach Department, I guess you could say. So thank you, Lisa, for sending that. And that really was a historical document. That was when it started. That was the Center for Whale Research's first encounter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what like some of the older ones like Ocean Sun think about us humans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Well,
it's been
she
a
was
long
there.
time.
She was probably among those. And the photos that we saw were from that day. So they're all preserved and documented.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Thanks for evolving. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's happy. We're evolving.
Yeah, we're learning from that. I mean, that was the beginning of the education that we all benefit from, that we all have taken in as second nature now that we know all these things. That's when it began, because before that, nobody knew anything at first except that they were killers. They were vicious. They had all these sharp teeth that would tear you up if you got a chance. And then, oh, okay, they're performers. They're easily trained. Look how we can make them do tricks. And that was basically all that we knew about them until the observations of Orca Survey under the Center for Whale Research began to educate the public on, well, they're really pretty fascinating, and they actually have lives of their own. They live in their own societies, in their own cultures and families, and have, important things to do. They're not there for us, and that was the beginning of that.
How cool to just be able to, I mean, thank you for this, and everyone's saying that, thank you for sharing this. Incredible. It's riveting. Such a powerful account. I mean, just to hear his beautiful voice, I mean, just to hear how detailed he was in his documentation, and then you just hear that passion. It's not just, oh, this is a job and here's this. I mean, the way he's talking about them, and the documenting, they must be feeding and they must, I mean, just he had a connection. So he didn't just go out and do the documentation, which thank God he did. But he had a connection with them, like a beautiful, and you hear that in his voice. And that, I think, when I was listening to it over and over last night, and again once right before the show, just that's really what was present to me, just how connected he was with this population and is. And so yeah, so thank goodness for Ken Balcom.
And heaven help us if he hadn't started that, because the way it makes it sound like they thought there was just hundreds of them out there running in and out of the strait all the time, when people were probably actually seeing the same family members and not putting two and two together. So, gosh, I don't even want to think of the horrors if he hadn't started counting them and realizing there were as many as they thought.
Yeah. Exactly. That was instrumental in ending the captures that very year, 1976.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I don't know how to move from that, because that is a whole, it is. It's a whole show in of itself, and just the legacy is and we will keep honoring Ken and all he has done, and we will continue to do that, and he's there, right? He's there with the ancestors now, and on the other side doing, it's going to happen, I mean, it's going to happen. So thank you for that. And I'm just looking through some of the comments, and I see, I don't know if you pronounce it Maria or Maria, but you all know that she put in a letter to Friends of Toki asking some very specific questions. Hopefully we'll hear back. But I just want to acknowledge how cool it is that there's an actual place that we can send our emails to that we know are getting read by Friends of Toki. I for sure know that for sure that they're getting these emails, and it just had me going back down. And I'm sorry you haven't heard anything. We all want to hear. Some of the questions she had asked was, what are some of the markers that they're wanting to see on Toki before saying, okay, she's ready to go home? Like, is there some sort of checklist or anything that they could share with us? And then another request she had, I think, was for pictures and possibly a video, which I think is a beautiful idea. They did that at Clearwater with the dolphin there, and I can say that I can say that it is my assumption that the new videos and why they won't allow a live stream is still because of USDA. I have not heard that anything's been lifted on that as far as showing any recent pictures of her or on social media or out in general. So, but hopefully we'll hear. And Maria, I'll send a follow-up email as well. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Winter. I was drawing a blank on Winter's name. But thanks, Maria, for sending that email. And I'll send a follow-up as well. And hopefully we can get some more answers on Toki. I know there's been some requests for, can we get some updates, maybe some more updates throughout, not just waiting for the vet reports month to month. So hopefully we'll hear something, guys. But in looking at the fact that we have a place to ask, I just want to honor that again, where we are. Howard went through the whole thing at Ways of Whales from back from her capture until where we are today. And I know we want to be further along and we want her home, but we really are in a place that still just might not feel miraculous because we've been there this year. But it's still miraculous. Everything that's happening with her and the care that she's getting and allowing this. And so I was talking to Alejandro, and I want to take a couple minutes to I want to show you guys some clips. I want to show you how cool Alejandro is, for one, and just how far we've come and how long this advocacy has been going on. And with the previous parks where there was no communication whatsoever. And that did not stop people like Alejandro. So if you guys will bear with me, I want to brag about my buddy for a minute. Can you all point to Alejandro on your screen? I don't know which way we call it. Wrong way, Deb. Well, on my screen, it's wrong way. I don't know. But anyway,
I can't do it.
but I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge you.
Let me get out.
He's over there.
That's
But
just kidding.
I just
There
want to
you
take a moment
He's
for
over
us to
there.
acknowledge everything you've done, how many TV interviews you've done, radio interviews. Of course, you're on the coolest show ever, which is TokiTV, which airs every week. So that's probably the coolest thing you've been on. But you've been on a lot. And so I want to share some clips from that. Guys, some of these are 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago.
No, even, Annette, I had hair. I was like in shape. Now I'm big. I increase weight, lose hair, everything. That was just for Toki time. Everything was done to help Toki time. I don't care about my life.
You're so silly. All right, hold on. I'm going to show you guys some, and we could talk about his hair after if you would like. Check a couple of these out.
You wanna see? I was
If you don't see it, please tell me, okay?
Okay.
Estamos a metros del Miami Sea Aquarium, donde está encerrada Lolita, esta orca que todos los que vivimos aquí conocemos hace 45 años. A mi lado está Alejandro Ariel Dintino, él es activista y él está luchando por la libertad de Lolita.
Lolita está aquí desde el año 1970, en esta cárcel de agua. Fue cazada de una manada de orcas que estaban en Pencoe. Parte de la manada de Lolita, que fueron como 5 orcas que mataron, y para que se encubra esa matanza que hicieron, las anclaron al fondo del mar. Y a Lolita la trajeron aquí con 4 años y las otras orcas fueron repartidas en diferentes acuarios de todo el mundo. La gente piensa a veces que cuando Lolita abre la boca no es porque se está riendo ni porque está alegre, es que si ella no abre la boca para que le den ese pescado muerto, no come. O sea que la tienen psicológicamente, emocionalmente maltratada, abusada, y después de 45 años, nosotros, todos los activistas, exigimos que le den la libertad merecida. Cuando hay seres humanos que trabajan 20 años y se retiran con beneficio, ¿por qué Lolita no? Nació en el océano y son seres que nadan de 80 a 100 millas por día. ¿Por qué todavía tienen el permiso esta gente, Miami Sea Aquarium, para lucrar con Lolita todavía y no la quieren dejar en libertad cuando cumplen tantas irregularidades?
¿Cuánto vive una orca promedio?
Bueno, una orca en cautiverio, la mitad de lo que viviera en el ambiente natural, se dice más o menos 90 años. Aquí puede llegar a vivir 45, 50, y Lolita tiene ya 48. Esperemos que podamos liberarla antes que se muera. Esa es nuestra idea, de que ella vuelva al océano, porque la madre de Lolita se dice que está viva todavía, que está en las costas de New York y que tiene como 87 años. Se ha hecho un estudio y se dice que todavía está viva. Entonces es nuestro sueño, la de todos los activistas que luchamos por su bienestar y por su libertad, que vuelva con su madre, que se reintegra al océano, que es de donde nació y donde debe morir.
Ay, qué lindo sería que se encuentre con su mamá. ¿Cómo se hace el traspaso de esta vida que tuvo en cautiverio durante tanto tiempo, donde no sabe cazar por sí misma, a pasar al océano?
Primero a ella se la llevaría a lo que se le llama un sea pen, que es un corral marino, un lago, pero con aguas oceánicas, donde ella conviviría con plantas y peces y aprendería de nuevo a subsistir por sí misma, porque usted sabe que las orcas tienen un propio sonar, vienen con un sonar, que eso es lo que le hace a ellas reconocerse de hablar, es un lenguaje, y cazar y todo eso.
Si se reintegra con su mamá, con un grupo de orcas, ¿podría formar una familia? ¿Podría tener hijos y demás?
Tranquilamente, está estudiado que eso podría volver a suceder.
Bueno, I was telling the story about Tokita in Spanish, of course, and she is the person who interviewed me is Carolina Larsen. She is the wife of the famous actor, Latin actor David Chocarro, and that was my first interview. It was in 2014, and after that I did radio stations, and I don't know, maybe I have over 60 interviews. I have some of them on YouTube, but what can I tell you is like the Lolita story broke my heart. Many people start to the Miami Aquarium, to many other marine parks to do protest demos. I start my activism like everybody, just holding a sign. But I asked myself, I had to do something else, because it will not be enough just holding a sign every single weekend over there. So I have my own strategy. So I said, let me go to bring the story to the TV stations. And I walk in the TV stations, I go to the radio station. And I said, listen, they have an orc over there. Her story broke my heart. So I would love to get her released. So can you help me? Can you help me? And, to be honest with you, many people help me. Many people. I would love to get more American people getting involved with this, because we could have Lolita released long time ago, but Howard knows me for so long, and I have always promoted Orca Network because I know he's an animal rights advocate too, and he did many things to help Lolita. I know Howard since 2014, and I met Lamy people 2018 because of Howard. So I feel, I think I did my best, but I know many people have done many beautiful things for helping TokiTV. And I don't want to take so much credit of this. I did my part because I love Lolita, TokiTV, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, but I want to honor the Lamy people because they really, really, really has the power to take TokiTV back home. I did, as animal rights advocate, my part because I love Lolita so much.
And Alejandro, and everyone who knows you knows you have been, it's okay for us to honor you today. And that's why I didn't tell you we were going to do it, because it's okay. I mean, you have spread so much education around the world, and it's not just the Spanish community, but man, you have been such a huge link for the Spanish community and the Spanish speaking community. I mean, that's amazing. And you're always giving credit to, or to Orca Network and to the Lummi people and the ancestors. And I love that because you're so connected to everyone. Yeah. And you're so connected to her, and you're connecting her to all these other people. And how you've shifted your activism. Like, I'm even seeing some comments about, we're going to back them into a corner. No, I mean, it doesn't work. We've done that for a bazillion years. We're actually working with people who are speaking to us and giving us an avenue to send emails and giving us an avenue to ask questions. And that's awesome, and yes, there's more work to do. There's always more work to do, but I'm not done showing old videos of you, Alejandro. So I'm going to show a couple more.
I got some in English too. I think I spoke for, I don't know.
You just sit back and
my
watch.
English is not bad. It's not good, but my heart is big,
You're so awesome.
I speak with my heart.
Let's show a couple more. Let me see which ones did I want to do. Let me do this one.
Señoras y señores, bueno, estén o no estén de acuerdo con la liberación de Lolita, lo que creo que todos tenemos en común es que necesitamos más personas como Alejandro.
Yeah, this goes very good.
En momentos como estos, donde desastres naturales como los que están ocurriendo en Texas necesitan de la mano de personas como él. Así que bueno, ahí les dejo eso para que reflexionen.
I don't know why
en Texas, así que bueno, eso me impacta y hablo de esto porque precisamente conocí a una persona argentina, un muchacho que se encarga de ayudar a animales, no importa cuál sea la situación o la condición, él está ahí siempre para ellos. Su nombre es Alejandro, es argentino y se los presento.
Se sufre mucho siendo activista.
Alejandro se maquilla y se viste con atuendos una y otra vez, y no precisamente para celebrar el Día de Brujas varios días al año.
¡Eso merece el respeto!
Lo hace porque protesta en nombre de millones de animales expuestos a sufrimiento alrededor del mundo. Osos, elefantes y Lolita, la orca que vive en el Miami Aquarium, en este tanque apenas 4 veces más grande que ella.
Mis días de vacaciones me los tomaba, pero siempre para luchar por Lolita. Mi carro lo he quemado ya de tanto ir para aquí, para Miami. Megáfono, compresor de aire, en algún caso que nos quedemos con la rueda baja.
Así luce el carro de un activista independiente.
Unir la vida de Lolita a full. Y no solamente Lolita, sino todos los animales que están en cautiverio, circos, zoológicos, cacería, pero el caso de Lolita es un caso emblemático, es un caso simbólico, porque Lolita
Hace 47 años que está en el mismo tanque. El parque acuático tiene demandas interpuestas, por ejemplo, por PETA, uno de los grupos defensores de animales más reconocidos del mundo. Bueno, el cautiverio es como un cáncer. A esta altura de su edad, digamos como 50 años tiene ya casi, está quedando ciega. Probablemente por su pasión, por pasar día y noche aquí, allá, bajo condiciones climáticas extremas, muchos lo catalogan como loco. Sí, loco por los animales. Ellos también sienten, como los seres humanos, tienen derecho a la vida y a la libertad. En este momento su enfoque es el Lolita. Pide, junto a otros activistas reconocidos como Rick Barry, exentrenador de delfines, precisamente en el Miami Aquarium, que refieren a Lolita a este santuario en el estado de Washington. Hay un plan preparado para esto. En un corral marino donde ella no podría salir, estaría en aguas naturales, pero en el mar. Hasta que pueda cazar por su cuenta. Alejandro dice que no dejará de abogar por los que no tienen voz, aunque le ofrezcan dinero por su silencio. $1 millón. Que lo usen para liberar a Lolita.
Maybe you don't know. This is so. It's not funny, but the journalist at the end of my interview, she asked me, Alejandro, what would happen if this company offered you $1 million? You know what I said? I don't want anything. Just give it to Lolita. And maybe years later, we have Pretend Sam donating $1 million, for helping her. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing, So I mean, it's like everything is connected. I don't know, but this is a miracle, and I'm so happy and I'm feeling that TokiTV will go home. This year is her year.
Yep, for sure. Here's another one. I'm having fun. I'm having fun sharing all of Alejandro's.
Listen, Howard did many interviews too, I don't want he gets jealous,
This is your spot.
Many interviews, But the thing is, the difference, I am in Florida. I am the boss.
Me uno a la lucha por la liberación de Lolita, la orca encerrada por 47 años en el Miami Aquarium. Si dejan de ir a parques con animales en cautiverio, tenemos buenas posibilidades de lograrlo.
Muchos artistas se unen a esta campaña porque saben que hay un plan para liberarla.
Estamos preparando un documental con toda la información.
Please, retire Lolita.
Just love it.
We will do this in the celebration when Lolita gets released.
I think it's time to reactivate that.
The boss. Terry says the boss. Yes, Alejandro, you're the boss. You're the.
No, I am not the boss. No, Rainel Moore is our boss. She's the boss. So we had to. I am. I did my part. I support with my heart all the efforts made by Lamy people, and and whatever I can share to keep spreading the word, I will do it, So I'm so proud to be part of this campaign.
Awesome. One more, Alejandro. One more.
One in English.
I don't know if this one's in English. Let's see. Hold on. But I love hearing you speak Spanish. So
Yeah.
I love it. So here we go. We start from the beginning.
Vamos a Miami, Florida, donde existe un monumento vivo que refleja el sufrimiento que es causado por el hombre. Se trata de Lolita. Ella es víctima de la mayor captura de orcas salvajes en la historia hace más de 44 años, que fue vendida por escasos $6,000 al acuario de Miami. Hoy, muchos activistas piden su libertad. Moisés González nos informa. Adelante.
Desde su captura en 1970, cuando tan solo tenía 4 años de edad, la orca Lolita ha vivido en cautiverio en un pequeño tanque de agua del Miami Aquarium en la Florida.
Tarde o temprano va a morir en ese tanque. Es un tanque que tiene agua con cloro, está nadando en su propia orina, en su propia materia fecal. No tiene compañeros de su misma especie.
Lolita no ha visto a otra orca desde 1980, cuando su compañero de tanque, Hugo, murió después de golpear su cabeza en el estanque repetidamente.
Su compañero Hugo, la orca que estaba...
I said Hugo passed away in 1980, smashing his head against the tank's wall.
En este acuario, esperando que algún día muera.
El tanque donde vive...
Yeah, what I said is like she has lived by herself since 2008 when Hugo passed away, because smashing his head against the tank's wall. What we are waiting for. We are waiting for her to die. Always I try to put pressure and doing my best.
Yes, you have done your best. And your efforts, Alejandro, have going there every day for the last, I mean, since 2014 has made just a profound difference. And she knows you're there. She knows you love her. And now, just really shifting to this, okay, great. Like that worked, you got people's attention. You spread so much awareness. You have become one of the biggest puzzle pieces to bringing her home. And so today, just this afternoon, you're on here every day and we honor people every week, but just want to take a moment to honor you and all you have done for Toki and being on here every single week. In addition, I mean, we've done radio shows together. You've done other shows recently. You've done radio shows that I don't have.
I did. I did a few interviews too. Even I got many interviews by Zoom. I did the interview for Venezuela, for Colombia, for Argentina, for Spain, many things. I just only got saved some of them in YouTube, but I got many interviews. But the most important are not my interview. The most important is like a TokiTV will go back home because I can have many interviews.
Well,
but
and interviews,
it doesn't get released. It's like a
right, but the interviews are bringing awareness. The interviews are bringing education and spreading education and awareness. So it is making a huge difference. So take the thank you, because thank you, Alejandro, for all you have done.
Thank you.
For her,
Thank you.
Continue
thank
to
you. I thank you.
We love you, Alejandro. Everyone point to Alejandro again.
This way.
We love you so much.
No, but I'm gonna say something else. I'm so happy because just Howard, in the beginning of the TokiTV show, we got the most important thing here is like the orcas are gathering because they know, and I think they know TokiTV will come back home. That's the most important thing to me and to everyone, So this is something that we need to, to say, hey.
Yes.
We are
Sometimes
happy.
I think they understand us better than we know ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. They have insights.
Just a bit.
Absolutely. It's time for us to close, you guys. Deb Cruz, any last words?
Thank you, Alejandro.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Carla?
Can I say it in Spanish? And then I can translate to English?
Yes, please.
Bueno, Alejandro, te quiero dar las gracias porque has demostrado paciencia, determinación, nada te ha destruido el espíritu, a pesar de que estoy segura que has tenido altas y bajas y que hay veces que has querido tirar la toalla.
Sí, así es.
Admiro que lo sigas haciendo y que sigas luchando, y creo que tú y todos los que están en Orca Network han demostrado que la paciencia tiene sus recompensas. Entonces, gracias con todo mi corazón, Alejandro. Eres admirable y tienes un fan aquí más en México. Gracias. Okay, I'll translate as if I can remember what I said.
But you say you told me I am the best. You can say that. Let me hear.
So I just said that I'm very grateful that he's been so patient, because I think patience is a virtue. Is something that not everyone has, and we want things fast and quick, especially now. So I said that I'm very grateful for him being patient and determined, and I'm sure that he's had some ups and downs, and sometimes, as we all do, we want to throw the towel, like we say in Mexico. Tirar la toalla is like to throw the towel and say, okay, I'm done, and this is it. But he hasn't, so I'm thanking him for that, and everyone involved in this, like Howard and everyone at the Orca Network, for being patient and staying there and until the end. So thank you to people on screen and off screen. Gracias.
Thank you.
Christina?
Thank you for joining us, Carla, to be patient with us.
Yeah.
She's worse than all of us put together. She fits right in.
We are not easy, we are not easy people.
Christina?
I just want to say, Alejandro, you have one of the biggest hearts that I've ever seen, and that really,
thank you.
Warms my heart, and I appreciate you, and Toki appreciates you, and she knows you there. You are her angel. You definitely are her guardian angel. But everyone, I have so much gratitude for everyone. Also, sorry that they're just the biggest hearts ever. The people that are involved with all of this, it's
Yes,
just
yes.
the biggest hearts I've ever seen. And Alejandro, you rock, and you are the boss. Hey, I'm just a little elf. You're the boss, and I love you. Mwah.
Listen, after 7 years, I don't know really who I am, to be honest with you. It's not easy, you know. It's not easy. This activism is not easy.
No.
You have to deal
No,
with
it's
many
not.
stones in front of your road because some people don't understand when you have a different strategy. They get jealous. Even animal rights advocates, they think that you're gonna have you want to have the credit, you're gonna do everything by yourself. And to be honest with you, I really never care what everybody said. I always try to do my best for helping TokiTV.
Yeah.
Like now. Annette told me a few time ago that, you know, we had to just we get these companies just trying to help TokiTV. So I don't need to do any protests. I don't need to do any demo, nothing, because we changed the strategy. You know, we are working on it. So it is what it is. We had to find what is the best for TokiTV, not personally for me or for anyone.
Absolutely.
No.
Yes.
Deborah?
Alejandro, I stand in awe of you. And as a fellow activist of 20 years, what I honor and love and adore so much about you is your humility. Like you say, it is so hard to stay humble in this work.
Yes.
Our egos do want to get in and take credit for everything. And the fact that you do nothing but give credit to the ancestors and the Looming Nation,
Yes.
it shows how honorable and humble and beautiful your soul is.
Yep.
And I just want you to know that if it wasn't for who you are, the ancestors wouldn't have chosen you. You have been chosen by them to do this work.
I choose the
And I
ancestors too.
honor everything you do.
I feel so honored for the ancestors. That's why I'm saying we had to follow what Raynel says, because she knows what she's doing, because she's been, you know, the ancestors tell her what to do on what is the
Yes,
next
brother,
step.
but humility is hard.
I know.
And you excel at it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Howard?
Thank you.
I will try to be humble like Alejandro.
No, you are humble. I know you for so long, and you are so humble. I know you, Howard. I know you.
Well, I am so happy to honor you and to just acknowledge all that you have done and that you do and that you say and that you are for Toki.
And we will keep going. We will keep going, because when we get a TokiTV release, we're gonna keep going. Just keep
We
going
are.
for the best of the Orca, for the best of the Lami people, for the best of everybody's just in there. Even we're gonna breach the dams, right?
Yes.
Christine is working on it too.
Yes.
Everything will come together. Everything will come
We
together.
know what we need to do, and we will do it.
We will do it.
Love it.
I also, in upcoming Toki TVs, I do want to honor Ken, with a couple of things. One is that, and someone in the comments mentioned this, that they just found out that Ken was instrumental in Keiko returning to his home habitat, to his native waters off Iceland. And that is very little known. It's been kind of left out of history. The history that is told begins after that. But anyway, I could do a short program, 10 or 15 minutes on that at some point. And I have a video, another historical document that queue up and get ready for you.
We should absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We mentioned it when we did a show on Keiko and we did the timeline. There was a mention of it, but that's a whole thing in itself.
Yeah, it is. It is. It was very, very important at the time, and it tells a lot about Ken too, that he did that. And then also there is a very recent one from the birth of a baby, of a J-pod baby, and Ken was out there, and our dear friend Lodi Budwell was along on the boat and documented that. Well, Ken took the video because that's what he does. He documents. And Lodi narrates that trip, and it shows how those whales came to him, surrounded the boat, accompanied him, and like I say, he never would, talk about that. It was just such a precious time. But Lodi saw it and describes it, and it's a beautiful day. So there's that short video. I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes that I'll find and show too. So upcoming events on TokiTV.
Upcoming events on TokiTV.
Next show.
And I think we should do, a whole. I would like to do an entire show on just Ken, and maybe we pick out some of those greatest moments, and then really look at some of those in depth as their own show as well. I would love to do that. So I'll be in touch, Howard, obviously, and we'll get those set up. Speaking of upcoming TokiTVs, next week we have Pierre back on with us, the Orca Whisperer from Paris. He has closed his season, and the videos he got this lap,
amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
So he'll be with us this coming Sunday. And then Philippe is going to be coming on with us here in a couple of weeks as well. And so some really good episodes coming up. Thank you guys for being with us each and every week as we gather for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. Never to forget why we are here every single week for her. And she's coming home, Sailor Sea 2023 for Toki. And I think today we'll close with the farewell audio, and maybe Deborah, your video again. And the farewell audio is Shirley Bob when she says it's not goodbye, it's see you soon, see you again. So we're gonna close with that. I love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, they're coming!
Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut.